I graduated college with a theater degree, and the first couple of years out of school, I worked so many jobs. I was a preschool teacher, I was a DJ for Radio Disney, I would go to parties and serve dessert on stilts, and sometimes I would work all of those jobs on the same day. It was absolutely chaotic. It was really fun until I started burning out and I was living month to month and I needed something to change. I needed to get like an adult job. So this is where I am emotionally when I see on Facebook that the local CBS in Chicago is holding a contest to find their next traffic reporter. And the job is gonna pay $25,000 for 3 months of work, which is more money than I had made in the last year. So my eyes turned into little dollar signs, and I was like, this is it. This is the adult job of my destiny. And I made an audition video. I submitted it with a little cheeky rap about the Chicago highways, and I made it to the top 75 out of hundreds of submissions. So I go down to the station for an audition. That's the next step. And it goes well, so I make it to the top 10. I am inching closer to my adult job. Now, for the top 10 audition, we had to do an actual on-air day of traffic reporting with the CBS morning team. And they can't just throw us out there with no training. They have to teach us a little bit about the highways, and they have us come to the station. We learn how to do the green screen. It's like a whole process. And they also send us each home for the day with a camera person so that they can record some stuff of us at home for our background segment. And so I'm giving them a day in my life, which at one point I opened the trunk of my car and there's like a tutu, a hula hoop, and a trench coat, which was all legitimate things that I needed for that day of work. But I am quickly becoming the absolute wild card of this contest. I am the youngest by like 10 years out of the group. I'm the only one with no actual journalism training. And they also have caught me at every stage of the contest wearing different pairs of Converse sneakers. And for some reason, they think this is just a riot. Like, why does she have so many pairs of Converse sneakers? So at the end of the training, they're going over some last minute logistics. And the producer is, you know, she's talking to everybody, but she's looking right at me when she says that for our day on air, we need to dress professionally. And like, to this day, the dress professionally, just, oh man, I can't even breathe, just the sound of that. But I look at her, I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, no Converse sneakers. And I'm like, of course not. So I go home and I fling open my closet doors, and there is just absolutely nothing in there that looks professional in any way. It's all soft clothes, like hoodies and a lot of Converse sneakers. So I said, fine, okay, I'm gonna go shopping. And I find this sensible black dress. It's very business Carly. But I get these high heels that are bright yellow, because I still wanna be me. So I'm proud of this outfit that I crafted. And the night before the big on-air day, I'm getting my stuff together. I get out some snacks. I lay out my sensible dress. I put my yellow shoes in a bag because I'm gonna drive down to the station in my Converse sneakers, because who drives in heels? And I tuck in for the night. And then I wake up at 3 a.m. because that is what time these people wake up to report the traffic. And I get all my stuff together and I'm going down to the car, and it's cold and it's dark because it's 3 a.m. and it's Chicago. And I'm driving down to the station, and there is no traffic on Lakeshore Drive that morning at that hour. And I'm like feeling nervous and excited, and there's a lot riding on this, because all jokes aside, I think I have an actual good chance of getting this job if I can just prove to them that I am professional enough to get it done. I know that they think that I can bring a levity to the morning traffic, that everybody's having fun with me. So I'm getting in the zone, and I pull up underneath the station in my car, and I go to grab my bag with the yellow shoes, and I do a double take. And I realized that when I left the house in the morning, I did not grab a bag with yellow shoes. I grabbed a bag of yellow bananas. Like, I still can't believe that this happened. And so I start shaking, and my heart is beating so fast. I'm like, they are gonna think that I'm not taking this seriously. I'm wearing Converse sneakers. They told me not to. And I'm panicking, but also the traffic has to be reported, so there's no time for me to stress. I need to go up and get the job done. So I run upstairs to the studio, and I'm like tears in my eyes, explaining to the producer, you know, my roommate is gonna be up in 3 hours, and she can bring the shoes. And they're like, calm down, wear the Converse sneakers, bring the bananas in the studio, tell the story on air. And I'm like, okay, I will do it. And so I did it. And it goes so well. I report the living daylights out of the traffic. I am running from the anchor table to the green screen, and I'm jumping over cables. There is literally no way I could have done that in heels anyway. And at a certain point, a bunch of my friends come to watch from like outside the studio window, you know? And they give them the bananas so that when I tell the story, they can cut to my friends eating the bananas. Like, it's unbelievable. And when it's over, everybody is cheering, and I float out of the studio. People are like high-fiving me from their cubicles. And then they whisk me off to have my interview with the suits, because it's still like a job I would have to hold, so I have to have an interview. And I sit down with the bosses, and they're like, that was awesome. And I'm like, I know. And they're like, so why do you want to be a traffic reporter? And I'm like, what? Oh my God, I hadn't thought about the fact that they would ask me that question. I do not want to be a traffic reporter. I'm burning out on my side hustles, and this is gonna pay $25,000 for 3 months of work. Like, I can't say that. So I say something about how, I'm gonna bring all the joy to the traffic in the morning, and I can feel that it doesn't go over as well as I would have hoped. And when I leave the interview, I don't feel quite as good as I did leaving the studio. And after a couple weeks of silence, I get an email saying that I did not get the job. Thank you. And I was crushed. I was more upset than I thought I would be, because I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, what is the adult job that I am qualified for? So I go back to the hustle, and it's like not looking good for a little while. And then I get an audition for a preschool morning television show for a network called Sprout. And the job would be hosting this morning show alongside 2 other human adults and a chicken puppet. And I'm like, they make adult jobs like this? So I lace up my Converse sneakers, and I walk into that audition armed with all of my experience of all my weird side hustles, and I get that job. And I work it for the next 5 years, and they make my Converse sneakers a part of the host wardrobe. Thank you.